Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam and the chapter titled Krishna Kidnaps Subhadra. So this is an event where Lord Krishna is visiting Mithila and he is reciprocating his devotees' love. So one of them is a king and another is a Brahmin. So one is very rich and opulent and another is very simple. But both of them, they had the same qualification. They were completely detached from whatever situation they were in and they were totally dependent. You know this word dependent. We can understand independent. We want to be independent. But here they were dependent. Because when you say dependent means you cannot exist without. It's like a life air. I can't exist, I am depending. So these are the words of the king. His name is Bahulashva. And he is expressing his gratitude, his love for the Lord who has come here and is glorifying him and is expressing the significance. If he is here, if he stays back, there will be no ignorance, there will be no misconception. Some or the other I should make him stay here for some longer period. So this is whether you are rich or poor. Of course there are both advantages and disadvantages. A person who is very rich, he has no anxiety about, his day-to-day earning, where is his next meal going to come. But same time, he can never be very humble. Because so much opulence and, people respecting you. So it's very natural that you will feel that, I'm the controller. People are dependent on me. So where is the question about I depending on others? So that's a disadvantage. And same time, a person where he is poor, he has so much anxiety about, what is going to happen, where is the next. But in that state, how can he be proud? He is always dependent on, others, So there is good and bad both. But when a person transcends these anxieties or emotions, he completely becomes dependent, then that is real success in life. Of course, success in life has many definitions, but really, in human life, if there is any success, this is success. Now you see that when we say independence means we have freedom. That's what we want. But the truth is, if you are dependent, then there is real freedom. How do you understand this? It is said regulative principles of freedom. Now we are so many regulations, but then it is going to lead you to freedom. And every one of us, by nature the soul is dependent, but in that dependence there is freedom. Now we are shackled. We can just give an example. If you are following the rules and regulations, if you are driving a vehicle, if you are following proper rules and regulations, you have the freedom to go anywhere you want because you have a license. But if you don't follow, your license will be taken away. If your license is taken away, there is no freedom. You can't. So in that sense, following regulative principles leads to, so our independence is in depending on. That's what really do. So this similar mood of Bahulashva's king's mood is also seen in Kunti Maharani's prayers. Now, one thing very interesting about this is Krishna's sense of humor. How does he select a woman? And see her prayers are so intense and detached. Actually, it is not meant for any people who are in householder's life. It is actually only for people who are completely detached. What she is praying, no one in one sense can even think about. But then her prayers are till today are glorified by sages. And Krishna selected a woman for that. He wanted to show that it's not what is your position or what from a body. It is your sincerity. It is eventually, it is our sincerity. Like Sunday we heard His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu speaking. He is saying only thing which separates us from Krishna is sincerity. You're sincere? He was speaking from Gajendra's prayers, and one point Gajendra is making, Lord, you are not lazy. Because what does that mean? Means Lord is every moment is thinking about His dear souls who are separated. He is always thinking, every moment He is thinking. Only difference is the soul is not thinking about it. He is always waiting. He is waiting. He is waiting. He is waiting. It's we who are making Him wait. He is willing to reciprocate. So in Kunti, when she heard, now don't forget that this was the peak of her success. The war is over. Her son is enthroned as emperor. And when she hears, she just hears. And Krishna is in Hastinapur. She just hears that Krishna is living. Now in the peak of success, everything one sense is in control now. Krishna is living. She runs as if her life has gone. So much dependence on Krishna. Then of course all those prayers, she speaks about how if you now live, now is the time you should be here. Because after the war we have made more enemies now. So many people were killed. So there is a chance that there are more enemies and the more enemies are going to plot against us. So you should be, now you should be. In that sense. So this is success. Now it is, in English there is a saying that nothing succeeds like success. Actually there is another truth to it. Nothing fails like success. How do you understand this? Because it is, if you want to test a person, you put him in some difficult situation, you will come to know what he is. Right? Difficult situation. But if you really want to know what a person is, you put him in a successful situation. And now you see. So success is more difficult to tolerate than adverse situations. Does it make sense? Why? Because success makes a person's way of thinking completely different. Not necessarily always, but overall, the psyche. So we are today speaking in this modern day. Today happens to be the very auspicious day, one sense. It is Vijaya Dashami, victory. Victory of divinity over evil. Something which should give us hopes. Yes, that means that doesn't mean the celebration is where people all assemble today in Shivaji Park to burn a lifeless effigy of Ravan and celebrate, yes. But truth is that demonic mentality is there within our heart. Should be more concerned about how do we burn that. I mean, that concept is only because of Prabhupada's mercy. We are sitting here and you're talking about what does Vijaya Dashami, what does Vijaya Dashami relate to? It's just a celebration, fun, joy, or is it something very serious? Yes, it is very serious. Because it is said that during Ramayana, the divine and demonic were staying in different countries. Ravan was in Sri Lanka and Ram was in Ayodhya. But then in Dwapar Yuga it was in different cities, not different countries. Duryodhan was in Hastinapur, Yudhishthir was in Indraprasth. But in Kali Yuga, divine and demonic mentality is within. So the war is within. There is no need to look out for enemies outside. The tendency is, this person, my enemy, he is my friend. I like him, I don't like him. The truth is within you. So success is something which is very, very difficult, and this was a great fall of Ravan. He was so successful. In that state, he fell down. So in the history, if you see that all successful stories, if you keep track, they all have a fall down. It is very difficult to maintain that success. Even in recent, I was hearing about, I don't know the details about, like how even in modern civilization, so-called successes who appear to be invincible, there is no way that they can fall down. They are so successful for years together. But then in a short time, they can collapse. This is said that in 1908, there was this earthquake in California. And of course, because of earthquake, there was chaos and, people were all in a miserable state. And people wanted money and no one was giving any loan to anyone. There is one person, simple business, he decided that I will go give loan to anyone, common man, anyone. He started with some very small plank of wood, a table, and he went near the ports and he started giving loan, started helping. Now very soon, there was so much success. There were many branches of it, franchise you can say. And there was Bank of America. Thousands of branches in more than 100 countries, 100 billion assets. And all the management journals and all glorifying Bank of America, their policies, their strategies, their talent, their human resources, how they appoint. There is no way that anyone can. But then the problem is when you reach, your way of thinking changes. No one can not be a victim of that. There was arrogance because success became my birthright. How can we be? We are perfect. See our success, see our results. So when some data is to come, there is some seeds of decline manifesting. Very difficult to accept. No, you'll ignore or you sleep over it. Nothing. It can't happen like this. So in that state, because of arrogance, there is greed, then you want to just increase, and naturally with greed there is lust and pride and all the values go down and you start making some decisions. And that decision is the downfall. So great, mighty emperor, one wrong mistake, we may think, what is their decision? Of course, every day we are making decisions. But making decision is not something which is very whimsical. It's based on some principles, then but still, there is a chance that your decision is wrong. So within 8 years, it took so many years for them, within 8 years, they collapsed. No one ever taught. Impenetrable they were. So this is something like, in a modern day success is, why? Because you think that success is because of my planning, my talent, my strategy, my way of thinking, my intelligence. But the truth is, there is some other factor. Your success is not based only on these things. There is one more factor which ignorance, that is, you can say destiny or luck, that is not considered. There is something divine. When that is kept aside and just thinking, it's a downfall. But at the same time, there are examples. It is said that there is one more, a mall, again a franchisee, became so successful, but he was grounded. It's said about Walmart. This is again a success story. So then when people used to come to him for guidance, can you tell us you have such a successful company, you're running, can you just tell us? He would not say anything. He would always be interested in asking them, learning from them. How do you people do it? Isn't it humility? He can say so many things about it. So the difference was that this person, he never ever diversified from his core strength. His strength was this. There were so many temptations. Now you should do this, and others did that. But he said, no, our strength is this. So he was so humble person. He would, when people come to meet, he would still be washing the dishes and he'll be serving them, taking care of them nicely and asking them. And they would be coming to him for, please tell us, what is a success? So when values are not given much importance, which easily happens, then everything shatters. So why are we speaking all these things? Because today is Vijayadashami and Ravan was like that. Successful. Impenetrable is, Sri Lanka was impenetrable. Golden, everything made out of gold. So it's a very long story, we'll cut short. And we just see how Ravan, because of his success, he developed that arrogance and pride and lust. So we'll begin from where Ram selects Hanuman, you go. And see Hanuman, he never ever thought that how can I go? When they came to know that Sita is 800 yojanas away, he never ever thought that how is it possible? How can I? Only one thing he thought, that I have to do it. How, I don't know, but I have to do it. This was a very first class person of a servant. And he was empowered, he was reminded, and he went and he found Sita. And he was so happy. Of course, Sita was so much scared. She said, now I have not much time. Ravan has given me only 2 months. Go and tell Ram to come. So Hanuman says, come with me right now, I'll take you. He says, no, I can't touch any other man. So, fine. Then okay, you say something which I can go back and tell Ram that, I have found you. Ram will ask for a proof. So she tells about some story that this is what had happened once, So Hanuman, okay, this is done now. So he was thinking that, let me go and find out about, what is Ravan's strength. So he wanted to meet Ravan face to face. So he creates a havoc there in the Ashok garden. Then obviously Ravan gets disturbed. They come and attack him and he could have destroyed everyone. But then Indrajit comes because actually Hanuman allows himself to be arrested. Then he goes there in front of Ravan. And Ravan wants to kill him. Vibhishan says, no, he's a messenger, you cannot kill him. Vibhishan had some sense, Ravan used to think, I can do anything. Okay, then the monkeys have a lot of pride in their, tails. So lit this tail, they put some cotton, some fuel and they burnt it. And Sita was praying, because she was born from Agni Dev, she was praying that, let this fire be very soothing. So Hanuman was wondering, Hare, the fire is burning but I am not feeling anything. So he realized, it is Sita who is praying. So they arrest him, they take him on the street with his tail burning. So he decides to do something more. So he just escapes from their clutches, goes on top of the building, starts setting fire everywhere. Whole Lanka is really burning. And while going, he climbs on the top and gives a warning to Ravan. Look, I am just one of them. There are many there across the ocean. They are waiting. Come to your senses. And he goes. Next day, Ravan takes an emergency meeting. He understands there is something, this has happened. So he calls for a meeting and all his assembly, all the leaders are there and he is asking, I think good counsel is needed. What has happened? Our country, otherwise impenetrable. How can this happen? This has happened. So, well, I am a good leader. He's saying about himself. Because there are different leaders. One is a leader who would call everyone, take the senior's opinion. And then, contemplate on some principles. He says even religious principles. And then, based on some destiny, we'll take decisions. So I called you, all of you. Then he himself says, but a second-class leader is the one who he thinks only from his intelligence. He doesn't care and he takes decision, he takes responsibility. And the third one is the one who just whimsically does it. There is no values, no principles, no destiny, he just does it. I am not like that. I am a good leader. So then he's asking. Obviously they were all fearful of Ravan, so they were just flattering him. Hare, this is because we were not prepared. Hanuman, he attacked. Maybe it was a surgical strike. So we were not prepared. If we knew, what is this animal, one animal, we can immediately, we have done it. Indrajit said, I killed Indra, I did this. Don't remember. Even Ravan was thinking, yes, I have done this, I have done that. What is this? I don't care for this. So Vibhishan says, see Ravan, I know you are prepared for violence, but violence also has some role, You can't just attack. You see, we are sinful. Vibhishan says we are sinful. And they are not sinful. They are pious. So always strength will be there if you attack. So my suggestion to you is, please, Sita is the cause of all problem. You just return her. Very simple. Just give her back. You don't have to. Ravan had such beautiful wives. But he wanted Sita. So Ravan, maybe something prevailed over him. He said, okay, the meeting is closed. We will meet next day. So next day meeting again. So as soon as meeting Ravan came, Vibhishan said, don't you understand? You see all the omens here. See what is happening around. You see the vulture hovering. See the crows. See what is happening in the yagyas. There is only spark. There is no fire. See the jackals. Ravan said, I have been enchanted, enamored. My heart is captured by beauty of Sita, her charm. Don't ever say this to me that. Anything but don't tell me that I should give up. Ram, I don't care. I can easily defeat him. So one leader said, then what is your problem? You want to enjoy Sita, right? You have got her so much difficulty. Go and enjoy. So he says, no. So Ravan was cursed. Without consent of Sita, he could not do anything. So Ravan was cursed that if he forces on any woman, he had done it in the past, he would rape. So he was cursed by Brahma that if you again make any attempt like this, your head will crack into 100 pieces. So he was scared. He says, I can't do this. So again Vibhishan said, see, you are so much attracted, charmed by her, but do you know that? Actually, you are putting across your neck a poisonous snake. It is like a noose around your neck. And her charm, her chastity is like the fangs and it is poisonous. He's warning him. Ravan, that time, Indrajit was so upset. He said, what type of a brother you are, what type of an uncle you are a coward. Where has your heroism gone? How can you speak like this? You are a disgrace to a dynasty. You are taking sides of the enemies. So that time Vibhishan says, Indrajit, you are like a child. Your brain is not developed. You are an enemy to your father. You are going to ruin your father. Think about me. I am giving good advice. Listen to me. When he heard that his son is insulted, Ravan got up from his throne and he started speaking. Now I understand. It is said that the relatives are always very envious. Because I am so much honored and you don't like to be honored. You are taking side of the enemies. If you are not my brother, I would have killed you immediately. So when Vibhishan heard this word, he said, no point in talking to this. He just leaves. So that is rest of the story, you know that. So this is what was Ravan, and how success can make a person, they can't even understand. So this is the downfall of, and today is the day where we celebrate Ram. But Hanuman was the one who was a hero, one sense, in Ramayana. He was like a godly hero. He wanted to enjoy with Ram, whatever. And Ravan was a godly villain. He wanted to just, godless villain. He was godless villain, he just wanted to usurp. So this was the difference. And that same Hanuman, that courageous, brave servitor Hanuman, he also appeared in just the 12th century. He appeared as Madhvacharya. He was Vayuputra. So just few minutes we have, we can speak in this contest about how is Madhvacharya appeared in the 13th century in a place called Pajaka Kshetra, which is just some 10 kilometers away from Udupi. And before he was born, his parents, very pious Brahmins, his name was Madhyaghya Bhatt and mother's name was Vedavati. There are several issues who died very soon. So they were every day traveling from walking. They would go this 10-12 kilometers to Udupi and praying for several years. And one day there was a prophecy in Udupi, in Ananteshwar temple. They said that very soon there will be Vayuputra born. So Madhyaghya Bhatt had some idea that it has to be him. So it's a very long story, but then you know that very early in his life, he was a young boy, very strong. He was learning under his father's guidance, but he picked up so fast that his father used to get shocked that, where is he picking up? He knew everything. And as he grew up, many times he'll be missing. He was not like an ordinary child. They will be searching for him. Where is he? His name that time when he was a small child was Vasudev. So he would be found somewhere up away in Udupi, 10 kilometers away, 5-year-old, 6-year-old boy away, traveling so far. So he had shown all those signs that he was not an ordinary child. But then very early in his life, shocking, he decided to take sannyas at the age of 10 or 11 years. His parents were shocked that how can you take sannyas? A lot of things went to and fro, and then he made one condition that if you allow me to take sannyas, I will come and see you. If you don't allow me, I will disappear. You will never be able to see me. So the parents said, okay. But what about us? Then he put one more condition. Okay, fine. As soon as another child is born, I will take sannyas. So this way it goes on that Madhvacharya, as he grew up, he was so well versed in scriptures. He had such thorough knowledge, and one thing which he would never tolerate is Advaita philosophy. He would smash them. And as he grew up, he would travel to South India, and those were the days where there were Buddhists, Jains, Shankarites, and their conclusion was, all the Leelas of the Lord, this is just the influence of illusory energy. Ultimately, you have to become one. You are that same one. He would never tolerate this. And he just went on defeating them. Then he came back. He came back to Udupi. Then he had a desire that I should write commentary. And he wanted to go and meet Vyasadeva. So till that time he had made few disciples. And they walked all the way to Badrika Ashram. There he fasted for several days. He was taking bath in Alaknanda and his mind was absorbed in meeting Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva was in Adi Badrinath, which is not visible to our mortal eyes. What we see is Badrika Ashram. So he went in that direction. So one of his disciples wanted to follow him. He told him, you don't come. He told him, no, I'll follow you. So he went following him to some distance. It was so difficult, so difficult. Imagine Adi Badrinath is so difficult. So this Satyatirth, his disciple, was just following and finding it difficult. So Madhvacharya just, his outer garment, he just waved his outer garment, and this, within seconds, Satyatirtha came back to Badrinath and is along with the temple of Naranarayan. Today's purport it says, Naranarayan Rishi temple, they were all sitting there. He came back. So he went, met Vyasadeva, and he took his blessings. Then he came back. Then he wrote commentaries on Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, many other scriptures. And then he traveled again. So this way he was defeating people. One thing very unique about Madhvacharya was he was expert in many facets. He was strong. He was also a good singer. He was a musician. He was a poet. He was a dancer. He used to do dramas. And his strength was so immense that wrestlers would come to challenge him. So you would put one condition. Okay, I'll fight with you. Just lift up first my toe. So he would be just keep his foot on the ground and you tell him, first you lift up my toe. And this wrestler will be struggling to just lift up. And once one wrestler challenged, he said, I will be singing. Now you squeeze my neck. Stop me from singing. And this wrestler will squeeze his neck and Madhvacharya will go on singing. So he was known for his strength. And of course his esoteric knowledge. So this way things were going on. So he came back and he had a desire that there should be a Krishna's deity. So the Lord reciprocated to his desire because he wanted a Krishna's deity. So one day he was there in Malpe beach, it's a sea beach near Udupi, just 5 kilometers away. And he was just reciting, glorifying the Lord. And he saw one boat, getting trapped in a sandstorm. It was stuck. And the captain also saw him. So he saw this man can help, he cried for help. So Madhvacharya waved his garment and the ship was saved. So the captain came, tell me what do you want, you can take any wealth. The ship is loaded with a lot of wealth. And Madhvacharya said that just give me that big piece of chandan. So because it was coming from Dwarka. 30 people could not lift. Madhvacharya just lifted up, carried it. It cracked open near the temple. He saw Krishna's deity. He washed it with Madhvasarovar water. And this is a form of Krishna where he is holding the churning rod. There is a rope and he is holding some butter in his hand. Now the history behind this is Rukmini, when she saw Krishna showing childhood pastimes to Devaki, she had a desire that I want to worship this. this form. So Krishna called Vishwakarma and he made that form. So it was hidden for several years in Dwarka and it came in this form to Udupi. So this is what Madhvacharya, today also it is there. So there are a lot of stories. We don't have much time to speak. Today is a very special day in that sense. People were, when I said, oh, you are from Udupi, so today you are going to speak on Madhvacharya, many of them were. So I said, please, let me tell you something. Yes, I am from there, but I didn't know anything about Madhvacharya till I came to ISKCON. I was shocked to see. Right from childhood I have been going to Udupi, but never would go to Krishna temple, but it is correct. It's Prabhupada's mercy, no? So then, this way Madhvacharya lived for 79 years. And one day, he was sitting at one place and he would give his class every day. And one day, just while giving class, he just disappeared. His outer garment just fell down and that Pita is still there when we go. So many years later, one of his disciple, he to just, in memory of Madhvacharya, he wanted to make a deity there on that Pita. So he made a beautiful deity of Madhvacharya. So that day night, Madhvacharya came in his dream. What do you think? You want to put that stone-like thing on my head? He was shocked. So means Madhvacharya is still sitting there. So from that day, no one ever dared to put any deity there. So it is just a Pita. It's just an asana. So Madhvacharya still is there, he is guiding, he is the one who made these 8 mattas. That's the way of governing. He was so visionary. He formed 8 mattas and each one of them he appointed and he made it 2 years rotation, 2 months in the beginning. Then Vadiraj is subsequent. He said 2 months is too short, it should be 2 years. So everyone gets 2 years turn. And this is what is he established, and that is Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya is known for his courage to defeat Mayavad philosophy. And one more thing which we can think about Madhvacharya on this day is he crushed, in his very early days, he crushed one serpent, Maniman. So we can pray that, we all know about how serpent of envy is tormenting. How much we try to purify our consciousness. There is envy which is a big obstacle and it never will go unless we make an effort to go. Nothing goes just by chanting and just being in years in the association of devotees, some effort. So you can pray that let that serpent of envy be crushed the way Madhvacharya crushed. But then in the history we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with no weapons and he transformed people's heart without any weapons, just distributing holy name. And Prabhupada took it further as a literary Prabhupada's incarnation. That's how we all are transformed, reading Prabhupada's books. Isn't it? Prabhupada with his books, how he was so specific that, distribute my books. And these books are the one which, that demoniac influence which is there, the divine and demoniac, the fight is going on. Whom do we nourish and whom do we want to destroy? That will determine our success in life. Modern civilization is just nourishing the demoniac thing, Success means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is success. But real success is that divine qualities, when it appears, then you become dependent. So in this verse what we are reading is Bahulashva and Shrutadev later. they are expressing their dependence, their love for Krishna when he comes. So whether you're a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or whoever you are, that opportunity is there for each and every one of us to purify our consciousness. So on this day we can have hopes that the power of holy name is so strong that it can destroy any type of demoniac propensity which is there, and it's going to be there, it's not going to be so easy. But also remember that our success is very difficult to tolerate, to be a little more cautious than failure. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki, Vijaya Dashami Maha Mahotsav ki, Shripad Madhvacharya Birbhav Din ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.